Pike's plan was as simple as it has proved effective. It called for communism, Nazism, political Zionism, and other international movements be organized and used to foment 3 global world wars and at least 2 major revolutions. The First World War was to be fought so as to enable the Illuminati to destroy Tsarism in Russia, as vowed by Rothschild after the Tsar had torpedoed his scheme at the Congress in Vienna, and to transform Russia into a stronghold of atheistic communism. The differences stirred up by agents of the Illuminati between the British and German empires were to be used to foment this war. After the war would be ended, communism was to be built up and used to destroy other governments and weaken religions. World War II, when and if necessary, was to be fomented by using the controversies between fascists and political Zionists. And here let it be noted that Hitler was financed by Krupp, the Warburgs, the Rothschilds, and other internationalist bankers, and that the slaughter of the supposed 600,000 Jews by Hitler didn't bother the Jewish internationalist bankers at all. That slaughter was necessary in order to create worldwide hatred of the German people and thus bring about the war against them. In short, this Second World War was to be fought to destroy Nazism and to increase the power of political Zionism so that the State of Israel could be established in Palestine. During this World War II, international communism was to be built up until it equaled in strength that of united Christendom. When it reached that point, it was to be contained and kept in check until required for the final social cataclysm. As we know now, Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin put that exact policy into effect, and Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, and Johnson continued that same exact policy. World War III is to be fomented by using the so-called controversies the agents of the Illuminati, operating under whatever new name, are now stirring up between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Muslim world. That war is to be directed in such a manner that all of Islam and political Zionism, Israel, will destroy each other, while at the same time the remaining nations, once more divided on this issue, will be forced to fight themselves into a state of complete exhaustion, physically, mentally, spiritually, and economically. Now, can any thinking person doubt that the intrigue now going on in the near, middle, and far east is designed to accomplish that satanic objective? Pike himself foretold all this in a statement he made to Mazzini on August 15, 1871. Pike stated that after World War III is ended, those who will inspire to undisputed world domination will provoke the greatest social cataclysm the world has ever known. Quoting his own words, taken from the letter he wrote to Mazzini, and which letter is now catalogued in the British Museum in London, England, he said, "We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a great social cataclysm which in all its horror will show clearly to all nations the effect of absolute atheism, the origin of savagery and of most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere, the people forced to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitudes disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will be from that moment on without direction and leadership, and anxious for an ideal but without knowledge where to send its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out into public view, a manifestation which will result from a general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. When Mazzini died in 1872, Pike made another Italian revolutionary leader named Adrian Lemmi his successor. Lemmi, in turn, was succeeded by Lenin and Trotsky, then by Stalin. The revolutionary activities of all those men were financed by British, French, German, and American international bankers, all of them dominated by the House of Rothschild. We are supposed to believe that the international bankers of today are only the tools or agents of the great conspiracy, but actually they are the masterminds behind all of it. While the general public has been brainwashed by all the mass communications media into believing that communism is a movement of the so-called workers, the actual fact is that both British and American intelligence officers have authentic documentary evidence that international liberals operating through their international banking houses, particularly the House of Rothschild, have financed both sides in every war and revolution since 1776. Those who today comprise the conspiracy, the CFR in the United States, direct our governments, whom they hold in usury through such methods as the Federal Reserve System in America, to fight wars such as Vietnam, created by the United Nations, so as to further Pike's Illuminati plans to bring the world to that stage of the conspiracy when atheistic communism and the whole of Christianity can be forced into an all-out Third World War within each remaining nation, as well as on an international scale. The headquarters of the great conspiracy in the late 1700s was in Frankfurt, Germany, where the House of Rothschild had been established by Mayer Anschelm, who adopted the Rothschild name and linked together other international financiers who had literally sold their souls to the devil. After the Bavarian government's exposure in 1786, the conspirators moved their headquarters to Switzerland, then to London. Since World War II, after Jacob Schiff, the Rothschild's boy in America, died, the headquarters of the American branch has been in the Harold Pratt Building, New York, and the Rockefellers, originally protégés of Schiff, have taken over the manipulation of finances in America for the Illuminati. In the final phases of the conspiracy, the one world government will consist of the king dictator, head of the United Nations, the CFR, and a few billionaires, economists, and scientists who have proved their devotion to the great conspiracy. All others are to be integrated into a vast conglomeration of mongrelized humanity, actually slaves. Now let me show you how our federal government and the American people have been sucked into the one world takeover plot of the Illuminati great conspiracy. And always bear in mind that the United Nations was created to become the housing for that one world so-called liberal conspiracy. The real foundations of the plot for the takeover of the United States were laid during the period of our Civil War. Not that Weishaupt and the earlier masterminds had ever overlooked the New World. As I have previously indicated, Weishaupt had his agents planted over here as far back as the Revolutionary War. But George Washington was more than a match for them. It was during the Civil War that the conspirators launched their first concrete efforts. We know that Judah Benjamin, chief advisor of Jefferson Davis, was a Rothschild agent. We also know that there were Rothschild agents planted in Abraham Lincoln's cabinet who tried to sell him into a financial dealing with the House of Rothschild. But old Abe saw through the scheme and bluntly rejected it, thereby incurring the undying enmity of the Rothschilds, exactly as the Russian Tsar did when he torpedoed their first League of Nations at the Congress in Vienna. Investigation of the assassination of Lincoln revealed that the assassin, Booth, was a member of a secret conspiratorial group. Because there were a number of highly important government officials involved, the name of the group was never revealed, and it became a mystery, exactly as the assassination of Jack Kennedy still is a mystery. But I am sure it will not for long remain a mystery.
Yo, quick video. Back in this bid for another one. It's Go Deep. Like I said, I don't know what episode this is. I think we're like in season 3 or 4. I don't know, but it's a Go Deep podcast, and it's a real good Go Deep podcast. I hope you like that intro. You've probably seen that before if you follow Go Deep TV on YouTube. I made that a while back, but I guess I'd be ahead of schedule. I do actually, but that video, it kind of talks about some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. It kind of leads it. It was made in 1967 by Myron Fagan. It was a speech he did, and I just cut it up and I edited some real life situations matching that speech in movies and in, like I said, real life stuff. So I hope you like that intro. That's going to take you into a great Go Deep. I interviewed my dog, NeoSe7ens, my homie Marcus. We talked about some deep shit. We definitely went deep. But like I always say before we get into that podcast, you got to listen to some music. And then I think right after the music, we're just going to jump right in because we talked for a long time. So to keep it short and sweet, just going to jump right in right after the music. Holla at you. Go deep, you bitch.
Tucked in the chrome, pinky by the 100 bones. Everybody gotta die. Bathe me with a stove. Sing your fiends lullabies. 50 get you 7 stones. Hit me on another phone. Get his grandmama gone. Rest in peace, Sid Vicious. Ocean blue Ben 6s. Make sure he did dishes. Came home still in kitchens. All flake, no shake. We 7s, y'all late. 9 in the Pyrex. Max in the violate. Oh. it's a high ride. Wi-Fi buzzing on, sipping on my time. Back shot and little skinny thing that look kinda like Ice Spice white pie. Distribution link, you go through the right guys. Had to slice ties with you, my Nita, you still bite-sized, pause. Yo, she got some special effects on dropping the drawers off of her, stomping Harvey yard. A man who was called the law, speed of sound, something profound. Visit a law school corridor, looking through the fourth wall. I felt the force called torch, y'all. Sonny don't chill or kick it with you. Early dismissal. Kid to grant you permission to get you some of this Billy Crystal, big pistol, big team liquor. Mister the only thing tryna hang pictures. My blood homie, baby mama, crib bitch, and the kid is a what? Gang bang mixer, slang scriptures. I do that. Pharmaceuticals, wires on, hearing rumors of the blue and yellows. Tires gone. Assalamu alaikum, firearm. Megatron, Gagnon, get your head gone. Couple things I hear from the dairy farm. Fairy dust shipping from Lebanon. Remember marijuana. Whoa.
All right, we're recording. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, so I think I still got the like the bullshit version of Zoom. So we got like 15 minutes, and then we could go out and come right back in.
Okay.
All right, so we started this. Let's go deep. I got my player partner Marcus NeoSe7ens on this bitch. He's one of the coolest dudes I know on Twitter. One of the coolest dudes I know in the movement. I think I ran into you a little later on. You've been around forever, but I never really talked to you like that until about a few years ago. But yo, instantly, dog, I saw you were not to say like my type of dude on some gay shit, but you my type of movement dude. You're a real cool dude, man. I had to get an interview with you.
Yeah.
I talk to you all the time on Twitter, Instagram or Facebook or whatever. You be sending me shit, and you right on point with a lot of shit. First, let's introduce you. Tell the people who might not know you. Tell them a little something about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Marcus. I go by, my handle is NeoSe7ens on most socials. And, I just go out, have fun, interact a little bit. I'm a big fan of the Snyderverse. And, just try to be chill,
Word. So you were more.
Nothing but I try to be chill and genuine.
Yeah, no, hell no.
I try to be as respectful as I can, but some folks need it, They need to
Yeah, that's how
they need that check.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what you are. That's how I locked in with you, because I think it was Seal's podcast or somebody's podcast, and you were going in, bro. And I just heard it from the background, and I heard you just like going off on somebody. I was like, yo, who the fuck is this dude? Because I never knew your face. I never knew your voice. I never knew anything like that. But after that, we tapped in. You were a part of like Seal Nation, right? Or is that how you came through the movement?
Yeah, I'm a part of Seal Nation.
Right.
I became a part of Seal Nation because of basically Snyderverse stuff. Because a lot of the early days, the release of Snyder Cut days, when obviously there was something wrong with the theatrical cut, and then this movement started. So I scouring around YouTube or whatever, trying to find like other like-minded folks, and that at that time there wasn't really a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of them were just super negative, whatever. And then
Mhm.
I caught Sil on he was on another stream on someone else's channel. I was like, yo, I like this dude. I like the way he's talking. I like what he's saying, And then I found out that he had his own he had his own channel. He was starting up his own channel. So then I started watching his streams, supporting his streams and stuff like that. And then I met other people in the community through those chats and on those YouTube streams. And then because yeah, I've been on Twitter since a long time. I've been there a long time. 2000. When did Twitter start? I would say like 2009. I was on there. Let's say it started 2006. I was on Twitter like 2009. So I've been hanging around there. I had my own channel. Um, I used to do some experimental type content or try to talk about things and stuff like that. Post some videos and stuff. And then life hit me. I got too busy in the real life,
Yeah.
so I kind of abandoned that. And when I left, when I stopped doing stuff on my channel, I probably had about 12,000 subscribers. No bots. I had about 12,000 subscribers. But I haven't done stuff in a long time on my channel. So last time I checked, it probably dropped down. My subscriber count dropped down to like 10,000 or something like that. But I'm good. I don't need to big up my channel and try to do stuff on I really don't care for that stuff anymore. But I'll support the homies channels.
Hmm.
I show love support, try to shout them out, try to recommend it to folks that are that I feel that would appreciate whichever channel's content. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
in this Snyderverse stuff, know, it's a lot. It was a lot of fun campaigning. It was a lot of strife. It was a lot of things going on. But I just did what I could to help show my support. Mostly
Mm.
the social media stuff, hashtagging, sharing images, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's about it.
That's what's up. Yo, 12,000 subscribers is a lot on fucking YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, I did it. I did it on my own. Yeah, I did it on my
That's
own.
dope. That's
And
dope.
but I kind of abandoned it. I kind of because real life stuff happened. I take
Yeah,
care of my family, work, this,
right.
So I
What
kind
was
of
your
like,
channel? What was your channel mostly about? Like movie news or?
it was mostly about like, yeah, like movie stuff, entertainment stuff. Sometimes I would share like a video that I found to be funny or interesting, that type of stuff. And yeah,
It blew up,
that I
huh?
just stopped. I
Yeah.
stopped.
Were you in
I
Google?
was
You were
thinking
in
about
Google.
trying to do some more stuff, but I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I see like I watch Sil and the constant work he has to put in, and basically he has to be always plugged into what's happening, and then
Right.
be ready to produce his videos and do all the artwork and do this and that.
Right.
I'm like, man, that's a lot of time.
Right.
That's really a lot of investing a lot of your time into
Right.
producing this stuff. Because Sil used to put out like 3, 4 videos a week. I'm like, I can't be doing that. I was like,
Hell yeah.
maybe you get a video out of if I actually took it seriously. Maybe you get like a video out of me a week, maybe.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it's just, it's too time consuming, you know. I get, if you monetize it, then that offsets it a little bit. That helps cushion it a little bit. It helps pay for that time that you invest. But then you gotta work through the trappings of getting demonetized, or
Hell yeah.
YouTube just pulling your video because one word that's
Yep.
spoken in your video or an image shown, or so I was like,
Yeah, I
so
feel you.
I'm cool supporting the homies channels.
I feel
I'm
you,
cool
bro,
with that.
because that's exactly where I am on this channel. I started another channel and it kind of grew. I'm up like probably about like 500 or 600, but it, like you said, it is time consuming like a motherfucker, bro, to do all these podcasts. And back in the day, I used to like edit a nice little intro and all kind of shit, but that shit take all day, bro. That shit takes a long time. You can't
Yes, it
like
does.
you got to be making like $1 million just to, you know what I mean? Just to fucking not go to work or not do nothing else. You know what
Or
I
you
mean?
have to have a lot of people that's willing to help out with certain
Right,
things, certain
right,
aspects of your video.
right,
Number one is like editing,
right,
to edit the
right.
stuff. And then you got, building your intro, building your designing your, it's a lot of work. But
Yeah, it's a fucking lot, bro. And YouTube on this channel, I get people all the time that because people knew me before the Snyder Cut shit from this particular channel right here. So a lot of people they always hit me up and they're like, "Yo, where'd you go?" You know, some people thought I died and shit. Like, "Yo, I'm I don't know. I just been doing other shit." You know, like
right.
YouTube ain't everything, bro. You know, like I like it.
Yeah.
I like to put out shit, but the time that it takes away from everything else is crazy. It's a lot of fucking work, bro. It's a
It's a
lot of
ton of work.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it's um on this channel, I think YouTube still got me kind of like shadow banned on it because I say a lot of crazy shit. I'm sure me and you will get into some crazy shit today that
Right.
YouTube will probably keep our shit, shadow banned. I've been on the same amount of subscribers since Trump's last fucking election. You know, once back in the day, if you were to say anything about Trump or the fucking election being stolen or anything, they'll fucking destroy your channel, bro.
Yeah.
I had this one video and it was pretty much like about the election and the turmoil in America and it was not saying really pro Trump, but it was on some shit like, yo, it's obvious what's going on to Trump, and it's not like this dude is. We can't be like, oh, he's the devil. He's this. Yo, this should be obvious that everybody in the world is going at him. So that my video was just about that. They took on that day. They took like 1,700 subscribers from me.
Yeah.
They gave me 2 strikes. So if I was to get one more strike, they would take my channel completely. And I got shit that go back years on this shit. That's why I went and made another channel. But then I got to the point now where a lot of the shit that I've been saying on Go Deep is like coming true. It's actually happening that I said like years ago. I know I trip with you all the time when you
Right.
send me shit. I'd be like, "Yo, I said this shit like 4 years ago." And I always gotta
Hey,
make it
man.
seem like I'm at a point joking, but at a point I'm not joking. Like
Right.
there's to a point if people have been following Go Deep since it started and they see like Joe Rogan or Candace Owens or Patrick Bet David or any of these people right now who is cool to be kind of conservative or cool to be kind of conspiracy theory,
Right.
all of their whole shit I've already covered all like years ago when people were calling me like fucking conspiracy theorists used to be a bad word. If they call you that,
Yeah.
then that was like calling you a racist or some shit like that. But
Yeah.
I look at you and you send me shit and it's like, yo, this dude knows it. I don't know if you talk about this shit on your podcast or you just message it to me, but when I looked at you, I was like, yo, I can do a whole podcast with this dude, like all the fucking time. He knows exactly what I'm on. He knows that shit already. I don't know if you be hiding or you don't really talk about it, or am I the only one
Um,
you talk to?
I mean, basically, I was put on this stuff really back in, I would say 1992, 93,
Mm-hmm.
when a friend of mine, I was a teenager, a friend of mine, he had a video cassette. And he popped it in. He was telling me all this stuff, and then I was watching the video. I was like, "What the hell?" They talk about the Illuminati. I forgot the name of the video, Millennium something, but you know, it had I forgot their names. That's how in and out I'm in this stuff. But
Right,
they're very familiar names nowadays. There's
right.
an old guy, balding, glasses. You know who I'm talking about.
William
And
Cooper.
William Cooper. William
Yep,
Cooper.
yep.
He's one of them. And then there was the this other guy. He's the one that coined international banksters when he was
Jordan
talking about
Maxwell.
these large bank.
Yeah, you talking
Yeah,
about Jordan Maxwell?
yeah. I was watching
Yeah,
that video and they were having a sit down having a discussion. I was listening to them. They were describing. They were talking about the New World Order. I was like, "What the
yeah,
hell is a New World Order?" I was like, "What is?"
yeah. Hell
They
yeah,
talk about the Illuminati and this and that. I
hell
was like,
yeah.
"What? What is this?" So that was my first exposure to it. And then I started seeing some other materials and things. I mean, back then you can only get it. What there was no YouTube, I don't think, right?
Right.
There was no
No, it was
YouTube back then.
underground,
I got
underground
Yeah, everything
videotapes.
was underground. That's why I said
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw it on the tape, and
yeah.
there's like a tape that was circulating around, and you it's crazy, man. There probably was on a public access channel,
Right.
3 a.m. in the morning,
Yep,
broadcasting this thing, you know.
yep,
But I see, especially now, I see that these guys they were talking for decades about this stuff,
yep, yep.
you know, and then like talking like this discussions with you that you bring up the Templars,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I know about the Freemasons and but
Mm-hmm.
you taking it back to 11 the year 11 something with the
Yeah, hell yeah,
Templars, you
bro.
know what I'm saying?
Hell
I
yeah,
was like,
bro.
holy shit. But yeah, you're right. It does. You got some ancient societies that's still pulling the strings
Right.
behind the scenes,
Correct.
right? I mean, we're seeing different layers of it, right?
Right.
But a lot of us we get stuck on one layer, but there's multiple layers above that.
Right.
So it's always refreshing to learn new stuff and basically see video evidence or
Right.
documented evidence of it, and or testimonials. So I mean, this whole thing, this whole scheme, grand scheme, is peeling back ever so slowly. But I kind of right now I'm at the point where I can see us. When I mean us, I mean all of us. We're all circling the drain,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Because the final part of the plan is almost enacted,
Facts.
which is basically subjugation,
Yep.
which is basically elimination, you
Facts.
know, and but you got a lot of people that let's say for instance this whole thing with Kendrick and Drake, right? Now, Drake, he's popular artist. He does have music that you can dance to, and you can turn your brain off and dance to it.
Right.
Then you got Kendrick, which is a little bit of a higher level of consciousness.
Right.
Although who knows how 100% he is,
Right.
because he's still a bit of a controlled character in this play.
Correct. Facts.
So it's I mean, I'm just glad to see there's a lot of people that they're a little more thoughtful, and I I I remember reading several years ago, probably 10 years ago. I think it was a Reader's Digest, when they were talking about this current generation, right? Um, Basically like the millennial Gen Z generation, where they were saying that this, in, especially for the United States, they said this is the most educated the United States has ever been in the
Right.
history of the country.
Right.
There are more people graduating high school. There are more people graduating college, and you can see it by you see the results of what's going on in Palestine, where
Hmm.
you have a lot of more socially conscious folks. They have more questions. They're
Hmm.
not quick to just accept something. They want to dig deeper. They
Right.
want to learn more. And when the further they dig, the more things get exposed,
Right.
and the more their minds get opened up.
Right.
That's why it's difficult for you know Generation Xers, Boomers, all these types. I'm a Generation X, and we've been so well indoctrinated with the story that's you know we've been told, and because if you're told something and you don't know any better, we didn't have internet back then, so you
Right.
just take it at face value. At sometimes you don't think to question it,
Right.
but in reality, the victor writes history,
Facts.
right? The victor can erase history
Facts.
and replace it. So a lot of the stuff that's been going on, holy crap, man,
Right.
a lot of the stuff that's been unearthed, and thank goodness for um those few throughout the centuries of mankind that had the wherewithal to preserve some of that past and some of that actual past.
Right.
Whether it be hidden scrolls or hidden books and stuff like
Right.
that. Um, so yeah, a lot of stuff is crazy. And then even I mean, like I said, you learn new things every year. The further you dig into it, the more people you talk to, you get a different perspective. And it's always great to have an open mind about this stuff. I mean, you could be biased, but just have an open mind. Don't be too discerning. Hear the other side out. Hear what they have to
Hmm.
say. Look
Hmm.
at the evidence that they present, and then you can dissect it and ingest it, whatever you want to do with it. And but there's a certain truth, and there's a certain brainwashing going on.
Hell
And
yeah.
certainly me growing up in America, growing up in Brooklyn, I was certainly taught a certain way. And then as I got older into adulthood, I see a lot of things a little differently now, you know, from worldly experience, right? And just this is why it's good for somebody. And I would think that if you look up the percentage of Americans, probably the majority of Americans never left the U.S. You know,
Right. Right.
so they don't have that worldly experience.
Right.
They haven't even talked. You have a good amount of people that lived in their town their whole life. Could be a
Right.
sundown town, who knows?
Right.
And they haven't seen another person, let's say a person of color, other than themselves, right? Unless they're watching it on TV. So now you got
Mhm.
TV brainwashing, programming people's perception on how other people are. And
Facts.
then, because I'll tell you a quick story. I'm sorry I'm ranting, but I'll tell you a quick
No,
story. My
you on
brother,
point.
both my brothers were in the Marines. My youngest brother, my eldest brother. My eldest brother, I remember he told me one time, he said when he was serving, there, there was this white guy that he was in his platoon, right? And basically, I'm gonna clean up the language a little bit, but he said, "You're the first black person I've ever met."
God damn. With
And mind
different,
you,
he said it
the
with
way he
different
was talking
language.
though, he was talking
Right,
all racist,
right, right,
N
right,
word and all that stuff.
right, right, right,
But he was acting he was acting all cool though, even though he was saying a bunch of racist stuff.
right, right,
And my brother was like, "Oh my God, I'm in America, and there's parts of America where there's no exposure,
right,
like face to face,
right, right,
interaction. So people live in different worlds. You got listen. I'm sure there's certain places in the U.S. where it feels like 1950s
right,
because they kept it that way.
right.
You understand
Facts,
what I'm
bro.
saying? There ain't no
Hell yeah.
McDonald's around there. You know what I mean?
Right,
So, you know, like I said, people are stuck in their whichever phase of brainwashing. And some people they love that blue pill.
right,
This is what I learned when I was little, and I ain't
right,
changing.
right.
It is what
Fact,
it is. This is what it is. I was like,
facts,
okay,
fact.
cool.
Right,
I'm gonna leave you
right.
be.
Yeah, hell
But
yeah.
if you want to go a little deeper and look to the future, and especially if you have children, then you gotta wake up a little bit.
Right. No, you hit some real important topics just now. You hit the rap game, which is deep into this I guess mental mind fuck of the matrix that we're in. They use a lot of rappers. You hit that we are circling the drain pipe, which we fucking are. You know, you live in let's say running out of time. So we might have to back out and well, let's just do that. No, we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a few
All
more
right,
minutes. We can back out and then we'll come back in.
no problem. You're gonna send me a
All
new
right.
link, right?
Yeah, I'll
All right,
send you a new link. All right,
all
word.
right. No sweat.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Peace.
peace. All right.
All right, all right. Before we left, we were talking about some of the subjects you hit. You hit the rap game.
Right.
You hit that we were circling the drain, and I did want to speak on that because it's true. Like when you said, because I started kind of the same way in the early '90s, or even before that. My mom used to be like a vendor at like events. She used to sell like African clothing and little artifacts she got from around the world. But a lot of the events were like speakers like Malcolm X or some shit like that.
Oh,
People like that not like Malcolm X, but in that same vein.
yeah.
After he died, right? So she would come home with all these tapes, like VHS tapes, and I remember watching them as a kid. And then, like growing up, I guess I still wanted to learn shit like that. I still wanted to find out shit like that. So then, in the early '90s, those tapes like the New World Order tapes and the books like Behold the Pale Horse and shit like that. That's what because I knew um, there was a song Cell Therapy by Goody Mob, and it was talking about Behold the Pale Horse book and the New World Order and shit like that. So that's when I kind of
Right.
tapped in to kind of want to know like what are they talking about. So then that's early days of internet when the fucking like you get 45 hours with Tide spray or some shit like that, like AOL. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
remember those days?
Net
Like
zero and all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. 40 free hours if you buy this laundry detergent or some shit like that. That's when
Yeah.
I used to fucking I used to be on it like heavy on like it was Yahoo Messenger and people would put in links back in the day when the internet was kind of more uncensored, and they would
Yeah.
have like crazy ass links of like people getting murdered and shit
Yeah.
like
Ogrish and whatnot. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like crazy shit back in the day.
Yeah.
But that's when I found the New World Order shit again. That's when I was finding it online and I was like, yo. So at that time, it was all like weird shit because once again, if you was to say you saw this on the internet, people would be like, you can't trust nothing you see on the internet. Nobody would
Yeah.
believe you, right? So then I guess I'm growing into being a weird kid, and they will always talk about like this event in the future. You know, it will come up. They would be like, it's gonna happen in the year 2000, and everybody's gonna be killed. Like half the world is gonna be just some crazy event was supposed to happen. So my whole like from the 90s to 2000, I was kind of fucking like nervous. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
some shit like, yo, expecting to find something, but it turned me into like a super conspiracy theorist where I would use up all the computer hours to search what event is gonna happen. So then, um, that's when I got into Jordan Maxwell, fucking Bill Cooper, and at that time, you didn't know if you could really trust these guys. I was just listening to them. I didn't know whether they
Right.
or not. I was just listening. Um, a few other guys back in the day, but so then it comes out. I used to listen to like George Norrie on like PBS radio, and he used to have William Cooper on there or whatever. People that talk like that,
Right.
and then they were talking about. I remember even Alex Jones was back in the day because William Cooper used to have Alex Jones on his show for a little while, and then he started beefing with Alex Jones and calling him fake. Alex Jones pretty much stole all of William Cooper's whole identity, even though
Right.
he stole another guy's identity who, they might say he's the same person or whatever, whatever. But pretty much Alex Jones took Bill Cooper's whole radio show and made it into his shit. And now
Mhm.
he's known as the big conspiracy guy. But he's really just a
Right.
copy of Bill Cooper. He was like a call-in guy on Bill Cooper,
He, he's a copy of these guys, and at some point he was legit
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
he did Bohemian Grove, that exposure to
Yeah,
that.
he did. He did.
But when you get too close to the sun,
Right.
the sun reminds you it's a sun,
Right.
and it burned his ass, right?
Right.
What happened? They 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 practically took his show away. They they messed with his money. They did all
Right.
kinds of things to him. Now
Right.
he looks like a different guy.
Correct.
He, to me, I look at Alex Jones right now. He's very compromised. Very
Right.
compromised. He'll
Very.
say every now and then something you want to hear, but then he kind of
Right.
he kind of like steers you in this direction of, you're kind of going in the direction of where we don't want to go.
Right. Right. Yeah, he
It's
does.
the direction of complacency type of thing,
Right.
Trust,
Right.
trust, trust the No, no, I don't trust anything, bro.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't trust anything.
Facts.
You know,
Facts.
like I said,
Facts.
I was listening to these guys. I used to listen to Art Bell on the radio.
Yeah. Yep. Hell
You
yeah,
come on,
that's what
like,
it was.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep. George Norrie,
So,
Art Bell. I used to listen to all of them, bros.
so we have a different perspective on things. I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there that with the same type of perspective, and honestly, there's a little bit of vindication over the last few years, right?
Right.
Because a lot
Right.
of the
Facts.
conspiracy stuff
Facts.
has come to fruition,
Right.
and unfortunately, there'll be more.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you
And
said, man.
by the time the veil is completely off, I fear it's going to be too late because you got too many people out there sleeping right now.
Right, right. No, but you hit it on the head when you said we're circling the drain. Because I remember when William Cooper said something, he predicted 9/11, and he was right on. He was like, yo, they're about to blame something on bin Laden because bin Laden was around in the news on CNN, and they said, he was like, don't believe whatever it was. It was like maybe 11 months before 9/11. And then 9/11, I lived in Brooklyn also. So it was when that shit happened, that was like, you look back on it now. At the time, I still didn't really know what was going on, but you look back at it now, and that's like the New World Order came alive. You know, like they were kind of hidden, but on that day, they showed the fuck up. You know, so
Mhm.
then we go through all of this. We fight all the wars that Israel wanted us to fight. All the Middle Eastern wars. We went it out and killed all of their enemies. You know what I mean? We
Over a
did
million in Iraq.
right, correct. Everybody that they wanted us to, everybody that they had problems with, we went and killed after 9/11. We fucked those people up. So
Yeah.
then when we now look at it, and that COVID shit, when everybody got the shot, the world slowed down. It was the great reset and this, that, or the other. But
Right.
we don't know the actual repercussions yet from that
Not yet. Yep.
vaccine, bro. Right.
You're right. You're
That
right.
fucking, that, like going back to when we were kids and hearing that there's going to be this major event, you could look at it like it was 9/11, but only like 3,000 people died in 9. But then all those people died in the Middle East connected to 9/11. That was a major event, but this shot could be that fucking event, bro. And it
Yeah.
already happened. It already happened. We're
Well,
not like thinking about it in the future. It happened, bro.
yeah.
You know?
And listen, right now, a lot of that C-19 stuff
Right.
is being exposed. Fauci's a fraud. He
Right.
was a fraud in the 80s with the AIDS epidemic. He was ahead
Facts.
of that, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Facts.
A lot of and I just saw a video today. They said there's some kind of protein from HIV that was put into the C-19 shots
Right.
to help it bond, to help it, I'm like, what? We don't know what the hell they injected
Right.
in us.
Correct.
Whoever took the shot.
I
A
didn't.
lot of us felt compelled because a lot of the jobs were insisting on this thing, which is in itself should be illegal.
Right.
Period.
Right. Right.
You should have the right. This is why, because I remember during that time when they came up with the vaccine, and then everybody, you had the group, and it was a large group of people like, oh, I can't wait to get the shot. Where can I get the shot? I need the shot. Then you got some folks, they're like, hell no, I don't want that
Right.
shit. They
Right.
just all of a sudden it takes like a decade normally to approve
Right.
like a vaccine.
Vaccine. Right.
This thing came out so quickly. What the? Nah, there's something off about it. I'm not taking it. I had
Right.
a friend. I had a friend worked in the fire department when they started talking about getting that. He said, "Nah, man, I'm
Right.
moving to Florida." He moved to Florida.
Damn.
He moved to
Damn.
Florida. He's like, "I'm not getting that shot." He
Right.
stood on his principle, but he's not married. He doesn't have kids, so he can just up
Right.
and go and do stuff like that. But you got,
Right.
a lot of folks got to compromise. They have families. They're rooted into wherever they are, And then you have all these C-19. You have to have it to work here type shit
Right.
going on.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
but it's and anyway, the point I was trying to make with that is, for me personally, while everybody else that was clamoring for the shot or gotten the shot, that were basically talking down to the people that were refusing to get the shot, I had a different approach. I was like, if they don't want to get it, they don't have to get it. That's
Right.
their right.
Right. Right.
Why are you gonna force them to get it? That's a matter of fact, I'm sure that's against several laws, home, domestically and internationally. I'm sure that's
Right.
against several laws. But
Right.
you had Gates. He had that little test thing with all the heads of the world come together, with a mock thing about a pandemic. What was
Right.
that? It was like a year before COVID hit, right?
Right. Facts. Facts.
And did you watch that video? Holy crap!
Right.
And
Right.
especially, you know who Bill Gates is and his lineage and his
Yep.
wife's lineage,
Yep.
where
Eugenics.
they're deeply rooted into eugenics.
Right.
They want to depopulate the world. Right now, we're
Right.
we're a little over 8 billion, right?
Right.
Listen, the number they're looking at that they want they want like 2 billion on the planet.
Facts. Facts.
They don't want no 8 billion.
Facts.
And unfortunately, for a certain race of people, they're not producing babies in the same rate as other folks.
Facts.
Other folks having, 4 or 5 kids, 6 kids.
Right.
Some of this particular group, they're having one kid or no kid,
Right.
and they've been doing this for decades now. And
Right.
now there's the fear mongering going on, the Great Reset and all that
Right.
stuff. But at the end of the day, though, we all have the same enemy,
Mm.
and it's not each other.
Facts. Facts.
It's not each other.
Facts.
Right now, somebody's going like this, you know, basically like what was that? Inspector Gadget, Claw.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
never see his face, but he's always rubbing that cat.
Right. Right.
So right now, a lot of folks are starting to pinpoint pinpoint the source of a lot of our problems,
Right.
right?
Right.
And if you look throughout history, there's always a certain group that's always there
Facts. Facts.
pulling the
Facts.
strings or pushing.
Right.
What did Joker say? All it needs a little
Just a
push.
little push. Right. Correct.
Then you look at the heads of a lot of these organizations, these companies, and you start seeing a lot of the same types of last names.
Yep.
So certain agendas are being pushed.
Yep.
And it's nothing better for them to work. I wouldn't even. It's so crazy right now. The way I'm looking at it now, it's not really. It's kind of in the shadows, but it's also in plain sight.
Yep.
But we're so folks are so worried about fighting each other. They're not looking. They're not following the strings up and seeing who the marionette, the
Yep.
person controlling it
Yep.
is, right?
Yep.
But listen, a lot of the issues we have, they have pretty much the same common denominator. You know what I'm saying? And that is not a coincidence.
Right. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And that's and I know we're talking about they rhyme with Mountain Dew, but they start with a J. everybody know who that is.
Right,
But then if we were talking about the Templar earlier, and then you also
right,
mentioned the banksters. If we go deep, and that's what because right now we can look at the Jews, and the Jews do have a heavy hand in this situation. But
yeah,
the Jews also they're like a not a scapegoat, but they're like a middleman to the marionette. We look
mhm,
like all right, let's and we can connect this to the U.s. AID situation going on, and we can connect. It all connects when you really kind of know the history. So if we look at like the banksters, back in the day, and you already know this. It's just a history lesson for the people watching. Back in the day, the Templar were the original bankers because they were tasked to carry, let's say you had some gold coming from Israel or Jerusalem or wherever, Egypt, and you wanted to send it to Spain or whatever you
right,
wanted to. You had to hire someone to protect that on the way, or somebody's going to get robbed.
Right.
the royalty, they were going to rob you and take all your shit, pretty much. So you had to have some knights with you. So at that time, the knights were the Templar. The knights were the Templar that protect the Pope's money, the King of England, all these kings' particular money. But the knights, they would do business with so many other people other than the Pope. They would do business with the monks in Tibet. They would do business with the Chinese. They would do business with everyone.
Right.
So you would have, let's say, if the Pope wanted to have a world order where everyone is, Christian Catholic Church, or you believed in Jesus, or whatever, whatever, whatever. The Templar, now they're meeting with some other rich Buddha people, and they're like, hey, maybe that Jesus shit really ain't it. You know what I mean? Maybe that Pope is
Hmm.
just telling us something, because these Tibetan monks don't believe that shit, and they're just
Right.
as, they got gold too. So now the Templar mixing with all these people, and they're learning all this other shit where they're not really on that Jesus shit no more. They're
Hmm.
like they're like on some new shit, They're
Yeah.
like on some Baphomet shit. So now the Templar, they got all the contracts to carry this money. So they come up with a scheme, and they say, yo, how about we just leave the money in these certain places, Switzerland, England, and we control it, but we'll write an IOU note that says, yo, you have 10 billion gold coins in Switzerland. Here's the paper. So now you can just travel with this paper and not get robbed. We'll stamp it. Now we have a bank. So now
Hmm.
we have like the people like the Rothschilds, you know what I mean? But
Yep.
they're still Templar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they could act like, oh yeah, we're, German Jews, and we're gonna migrate our little money from Germany to England to Swiss to France over to the New World to America. We're gonna do all this
Yep.
shit, but we're still Templar. We're still,
Hmm.
whatever y'all think we are. You can think we're Jews. You can think we're British. You can think we're French. You
Yep.
can think we're whatever, but we're really Templar Knights. So now these niggas still don't believe in Jesus and stuff like
No,
that. So now the
they've
Pope
long
is
abandoned them. Yeah.
right. They long abandoned that Jesus crap,
Yeah.
whatever. So now the Pope is on some shit like, yo, these bros got all the money. They're
Yep.
not listening to me. I might owe these dudes a few dollars. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
And they don't care about Jesus like we thought. So now the Pope got mad at them and was like, yo, I'm gonna get with the King of France, who might owe the Templars some money. I'm gonna get with all these kings, and I'm gonna banish them boys. Yo, if you got a Templar bank in your country, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z to you. So now somebody, and this is what's funny, because me and you talk movies. So it's in all of the movies. So then the Pope does an Order 66 on the knights, which is pretty much the Darth Sidious look just like the Pope. You know what I mean? And then he flips and kill the knights who look just like the Jedi for some reason, and nobody puts the story together that Star Wars is talking about the Templar. Nobody puts that story together. We're just like, oh, a long time ago in some galaxy far, far away, there was some guys. But all
Hmm.
right, so then Friday the 13th happens. Order 66. They burn the Templar at the stake, and they banish. You can't be a Templar because y'all aren't worshiping Jesus. You don't say that the Son of God is Christ or whatever. You worshiping some dude named
Hmm.
Baphomet. You're doing everything
Yeah.
blasphemous against the cross. You're turning it upside down. You're peeing on it. You are having
Yeah.
sex with each other. You might be gay or whatever, whatever. So now you're banished. they had to make the Templar look like there's some evil, maybe blasphemous homo dudes.
Right.
So now all the kings killed them, burned them at a stake, Friday the 13th. So now, Friday the 13th, after that, they have to go and hide it. Now, if you're a Templar, you're going to get caught and you're going to get hung and burned, or maybe, cut your head off or whatever. So now you got to go in secret.
Right.
Now you got to go in secret societies. So now you still got the money. You still got the IOUs.
Right.
You still have the banking knowledge because you know everybody that got the gold. You've been dealing with it.
Right.
You still got all of these people, but you can't be seen in public no more. You got to go and hide it.
Right.
So now, every king that they had beef with, and like all these movies, Friday the 13th, Jason got picked on, got killed. He came back for revenge. V for Vendetta got picked on, got killed, burned, came back for revenge with swords
Right.
and blah, blah, blah. So now they say, yo, we can't kill your king, but we're going to secretly teach the people how to do it. In all our secret societies, we're going to go underground.
Yep.
Ninja Turtles. We're going to be the Foot Clan. We're going to teach all these kids how to be ruly and unruly, and we're going to take over your city. And we're coming from the east. We're coming from back messing with the Tibetan monks in the Himalayas because we're not messing with the Pope no more. Ninja Turtle shit. Or Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. They came over, they went underground in the city. We're gonna start this French Revolution to kill the French king who fucked us over. We're gonna start all these revolutions, and we're gonna teach the people that your king has been fucking you over, and you need to go kill the king. But really, we're controlling these revolutions because we're hiding. Yep. We got the money to fund these revolutions, but we just can't come out and say it's us doing it. So now there's these revolutions all across the world, even in America, bro, where all these people die and some new shit comes where there's no more kings. There's now democracy where there can be multiple kings. Every 4 years, we can get multiple kings. There's
democracy.
Right, right, dog. Right. So now everybody thinks, oh yeah, we got this new shit called democracy, and we're not going to be under king rule, but every 4 years we can get a new king. But they don't know that the new king is a part of the same secret society as the last one. So they're still under control by a king. They just don't know it, bro. So now, fast forward it to regular time, we got America, who's in the rap game, teaching everybody revolutions. Oh, fight the power. We gotta stand up and fight the man. We gotta kill the man. Oh, we gotta sell crack. We gotta do they. So now you get to like U.S. AID. Everyone's talking about, oh my God, did you see what U.s AID has funded? They funded all these revolutions in every fucking country. They fund all these green revolutions in the Middle East. They fund these. Bruh, do we not know who does that shit? Like, since back in the day, the bankers, the Templar, fund revolutions, bro. This is what they do. So when we look at U.s AID and we look at the rap game, and then the rap game is now all some devilish shit all through the rap game. Even Kendrick Lamar, right? You can see it. Even Kendrick Lamar has a song. Kendrick has a song where he's posing as the devil. He's trying to make like the devil a good guy now. So people come out with like all this devilish shit in the rap game, and now people like, yo, I had to sell my soul to the devil. I had to worship Baphomet. I had to do all this shit, bro. But nobody knows the history that this same shit has been going on. So we could look automatically and say, yo, it's the bankers or it's the banksters or it's the Jews, but it's the Templar. It's always been them. This is how they roll. So then we look at all these, the secret societies, even Elon Musk, when he's with Trump, he's doing all the hand signs, he's doing all the shit, bro. Like this is so
Hey.
weird. People act like they don't know this shit. It's so
Mm-hmm.
weird to me that this is why I come out and make Go Deeps, bro. I come out and I'm like, sometimes, and not to toot my horn, but people be like, yo, how did you know, bro? You're a psychic. You're a prophet. No, bro, this is some history 101 shit. You know what I mean? That's all you had to do is
Yeah.
know your history, and you see this shit playing out today. You know what I mean? So I look at it like
Know your history and pay attention.
correct, bro. Correct. But not everybody knows
It's
this.
right in your
Not
face.
everybody sees it. It's right in your face, bro. It's right in your face.
Yeah.
And then you sent me something the other day, and it was talking about the JFK assassination, and it was talking about, how so Israel was made like right after World War II. So let's say 46, 45. It was made in what, 50 something, 54 or whatever. But if Israel was connected, let's say they were connected in 9/11, they were connected in the JFK assassination. But how does a small country who just got fucked up by Hitler, you know what I mean? Who was pretty much Jewish refugees, how do they kill a president in America? No, bro, there's
Hey,
somebody bigger. You know what I mean?
listen, the powers that be. Listen, how was Israel created? Balfour Declaration, the Rothschilds,
Right,
they're powerful people.
right,
Listen, you got to be really powerful. Is it, especially if everybody knows that you're rich, but you are never in Forbes magazine. Never,
right. Never, never.
never.
Right,
You have involvement with the Federal Reserve, which never gets audited.
right,
Nobody can get arrested from there. No one can, no one can get
right,
fired from there. They're untouchable.
right,
How?
right.
Hey man, a lot of crazy things. I'm kind of like I'm looking through stuff. Man, early 1900s was a big turning point in the United States, man. From 1910, 1913, a lot of things were going on, bro. That
Right,
was the formation of the Federal Reserve. The Titanic
right.
went down. A lot of things
Facts,
went on, and
facts.
certain folks, like I said, common denominator connected, connected to these things,
Right,
especially if you look at, and I can't wait till they drop the JFK and the RFK stuff, even though it's going to be compromised
yeah.
because the person in charge of that stuff is a part of that group.
It's one of them. Right, correct,
So it's one
correct.
of them. So
Right,
we're not going to know. Because listen, if we know the truth about JFK, the turnaround in America, wow,
right,
wow. And then
right.
the reflection of every American looking back in history and looking at the common denominator, is, we're going to realize that our greatest ally is not our greatest ally at all.
Facts, bruh.
It's a freaking succubus.
Facts, bruh.
I'm
Facts.
telling you, man.
Right,
It's because listen, you look at going back to the JFK stuff. JFK, listen, he's a part of the system, but he had some form of loyalty,
right,
and he had some kind, and he had some form of balls too,
Right.
because he was the only one questioning what's going on in Israel. He said, "Well,
Correct.
what's going on over there?
Correct.
We need to do inspections there.
Exactly.
You stole out your uranium.
Right.
You try to build nukes. We need to do it." And then you try to have, at that time, with their version of APAC, you need to be registered with FARA.
Right. Right.
You're a foreign aid. And then, I believe this was in like March of that year. And then they were in the process of registering, right? And then what happened in November? What happened to JFK in November, right? And then once that happened, guess what happened in December? Nah, we ain't registering. Nah,
Yeah. No more audit. Right.
we ain't gonna register.
Right.
The president that stepped in, no, you guys are okay. You don't have to,
Right.
we're not
Facts.
gonna check you for nuclear weapons or any. They got someone that's will fall in line. I mean,
Yep.
listen, you gotta have some freaking balls to kill a U.S. president.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts.
And
Serious
I'm not
balls.
talking about like I'm not talking about some crazy American that's just off his meds and just kill anybody, whatever. I'm talking about for you to plot to kill a sitting president. That is fucking ballsy, man. And then you see afterwards. You see after, but I like to believe in a certain word, a Greek word. Surprisingly, it's a Greek word. Hubris.
Mm.
Hubris. When these people, certain folks, the Greek gods, right? They invented. This is the word for the humans, the people that mocked them, that went against the gods, that did everything to blaspheme, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
called hubris. And then the God's punishment. Wow,
Mm.
you're done. You're done.
Wipe them out.
And
Right.
but there's a certain group. They have no hubris.
Right.
I mean, they have nothing but hubris. They have not learned anything. They mock it,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't understand how certain groups, let's say Christian groups, the the um the neo Judeo
Mm-hmm.
Christians. I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand what is their logic with aligning themselves with a group that does not believe in Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
They
Killed Jesus,
believe
right?
they who were the Pharisees?
Right. Right. Yo,
Who was
that
the one that told the king to arrest him and
mm-hmm.
crucify him? Right?
Right.
They have something called a Talmud,
Mm.
and And listen, if the average American, average Christian read what's in the Talmud, I couldn't even understand how they would align themselves at all. Christians have more in common with Muslims than they do with Jews.
Right.
I'm sorry to say
Right.
that, but it's true.
Right. Right.
In their Talmud, they believe that Jesus was a criminal. He deserved what
Mm-hmm.
he got,
Mm-hmm.
and he's burning and boiling excrement and semen in hell. What? They worship something called Moloch.
Right. Right.
You know what Moloch looks like? Baphomet
But
with horns. Come on, bro.
right.
What's the what's the verse in the Bible? Synagogue of Satan. Just type that in Google, and then you'll find the verse in the Bible.
Right.
Synagogue of Satan. Listen,
Right.
there were the Jews that followed Moses, and then there were the other ones.
Right. Right.
So, hey man, You gotta use your own discernment.
Got to.
And this, who comes up with this bullshit? Ethno state? I'm an atheist, but since I'm Jewish, what? See, you're playing both sides.
Right.
It's like when they play, sometimes I'm white. No, I'm a minority.
Right.
They
Right.
play the sides.
Right.
So
Right.
you got and I'm not trying to condemn all Jews because I mean, mathematically, it's just not so. But there uh, definitely the ones in Israel. Those folks heavily indoctrinated, heavily brainwashed. They're all on the same page as far as their chosen status.
Right. Yeah, we got to get to the next
And
the next 15 minutes, and then yeah,
oh yeah,
I'll shoot you
yeah,
another
no
link
sweat.
right back. All right, word.
Yeah, shoot me. No, it's the same process, right? You got to
Yeah,
upload and
yeah, same
yeah. All
process.
right, no problem.
All right. Peace.
All right.
All right,
Yeah,
perfect,
when you
perfect.
real quick when you were talking when you were describing the Templars, it kind of
Hmm.
remind it kind of reminded me of the Pinkertons in the 1850s.
Right. They're the same people. Same people.
Yeah,
It's always the money guys, and then
yeah,
it's like remember that Rothschild quote where he was like, I don't care who controls the laws, just give me control of the money and I'll control the country. Something like
yeah.
that. Something like that. It's like it's the money guys because even like back in the day, the Pope, I guess that was our last world order was like Roman Catholicism and shit like that.
Mhm.
And this new world order, like you was talking about, because the Romans and the Jews, they killed Jesus, right? They were the two, right? So now
Yeah,
the Jesus type in America, you mentioned also Judeo-Christian. It's like the Jews and the Christians together,
yeah,
But the new world order is really the secret societies coming from out of the shadows. So it's like
right.
you know, at the time in our last world order, our last 2,000 years, it was the Muslims, the Jews, and the
Sorry.
it's all right, the Muslims, the Jews, and the Christians. And I think in the next 2,000 years, it's going to be the secret societies. It's going to be the Baphomets, the you know what I mean? That other shit like that, you know. So I think that's what we're coming into right now. And even though getting back to like the Zack Snyder shit, Christopher Nolan was talking about it in his Batman trilogy. Um Zack Snyder and even looking at this U.s AID, how if they don't like someone, they could fund everyone against you, whether it's the
Yep.
media, whether it's social media, the blue checks, the people. That's what they did to Zack Snyder, bro. That's what kind of attracted me to him was the same shit. Like, you ever remember like back in the day when rappers? There's a line from ODB. I remember ODB was he was getting interviewed. It was like 1993, and he was with Method Man, and everything the interview guy was saying, ODB was like, "Oh, it's the government. It's the government." He kept saying that over and over. And they back in the day, they made ODB look like he was crazy. But now we look at this U.S. AID stuff. It's always the government. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's always been
yeah,
the government. So the smear tactic, even towards Zack Snyder, was the government. You could
yeah,
probably look back at it because all of these, it always matches up. It's the media, they're gonna talk shit about you, the blue checks, all of this Martha moment or whatever, this stupid, anything they
yeah,
could make about Zack Snyder. Oh, we hate this movie because Martha or anything,
yeah,
and it's always if you don't stick to the script, the government is going to go after you. It's always like that. And that's what attracted me to Zack Snyder. But I look at it like um in our community, you're from New York, you're from like the home of hip hop. Hip hop was revolutionary at the beginning. It was always to try to make a revolution. You know, even before that, like Bob Marley, he was revolutionary. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X was always revolutionary. But we look at it now and we're talking the people who fund these revolutions be the government. You know, that's why
Mhm.
all these people like MLK, Bob Marley, they get killed because it's like that scene with the Joker. He used the guy but so much, and then when he don't use him no more, they just kill each other off. You know, so it's the last man
Yeah.
standing, but it's who they don't want. So all of these rappers that get killed in the midst of their career or whatever, they don't know that they're working for the government the whole time. The rap
Mhm.
game is the government. The fucking Hollywood is the government. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Social media is the government. Uh, you know, all of this shit is the government. You know, it's U.s.
Well, I
AID.
mean, listen. Well, what happens, right? A lot of this stuff, let's say music, right? Rap
Right,
music, when it came out, it was so pure, right?
right,
It was
right,
pure, good
right,
messaging, all that stuff. And
right,
at some point, the powers that be took control of it and started inserting their messaging that they wanted pushed out. That's
right,
when we started getting, I want to shoot you and this and that and sell some crack and all this other crap. Same thing
right,
with Hollywood, right?
right,
Before, listen, it was all musicals, right?
right, right.
Musicals and the happy and
Happy,
celebration.
happy. Right,
Then all of a sudden, now we're seeing people getting murdered, raped, all kinds of things going on in there, injecting it. And now, especially today's films, heavy messaging,
correct.
heavy messaging, and and it's not really the good kind of messaging,
Right,
right? It's kind of I'm pushing my agenda type of a message, right?
right,
You're gonna
right,
accept this no matter what.
right,
And like you said, that's what attracted you to like Zack Snyder stuff. This was this type of stuff, the exposing of things. This was what got me into like back in the day with John Carpenter
hmm
because he was exposing a lot of stuff, but
right,
the way he was doing it, he was using science fiction, he was using horror,
right,
and but you know, if people that knew,
right,
right? But you know,
right,
accountants, the studio exec accountants, they're like, oh, it's a fantasy movie or whatever,
right, right,
right? So you
right,
can. This is the reason why you look at someone like Zack Snyder. He was able to film two movies,
right, right,
right? With
right,
with Justice League, right?
right,
They studio notes, producers showing up. Oh, you gotta do it this way and this way. Oh yeah,
right.
okay, okay. I'm gonna shoot your shit in front of you. Then I'm gonna do my other take that I'm gonna
Fact.
say, yeah, I'm not gonna use this take. I'm just, want to back up whatever. But really,
Right,
the other take is the real movie.
right,
And he was able to, and
right.
that's man, that's brilliant, man.
Yeah,
And if you think about any other filmmaker with heavy messaging, literally, I'm trying to tell you something
right,
in his films
right,
without telling you.
right.
You look at someone like a Stanley Kubrick,
Stanley, I was just about to say that. Yep.
really, and what he died doing what movie?
Eyes wide shut.
After doing what movie?
Eyes
Eyes
wide
Wide
shut.
Shut.
Yep.
And that movie is like exposing a lot of secret society
Yep.
shenanigans, right?
Yep.
And what happened? What happened after he died? Warner Brothers took his film, re-edited it,
Yep.
did what they did with it, and then you get what you get
Right.
basically in the end.
Right.
It's not
Right.
it wasn't Kubrick's real film
Facts.
because he was delving very deep into these secret societies, these
Fact.
mask wearing, masquerade party going
Fact.
folks. But
Fact.
maybe he did not die of natural causes. I doubt that. Someone like a Kubrick? Nah, man.
Right.
He listen. He took something like Stephen King's novel and he restructured it.
The Shining.
Yeah, he put
Hmm.
heavy messaging in it,
Yep.
and even Stephen King was like, I hated that movie. I don't recognize it.
Right.
But you see, Stephen King is looking at it from a different perspective. He's like, this
Yep.
is something I wrote. This is the story I wrote, and this guy he did something else with it.
Right.
But if you're not involved at all, you're just watching the film. You're like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Right.
There's something a
Right.
little deeper going on than just at your average horror film.
Right.
But I mean, listen, some directors try to get their stuff out there, their message out there. Um, and listen, a lot of the good ones, they're able to get away with it because they hide it through the genre.
Right. Right.
Because if you just did a straight up film like that, you would never get financing.
Right.
No, who's gonna finance that?
Right. Facts.
It'll maybe be a TV movie but as far as something coming out in the theaters,
Right.
because the powers that be don't want that. They
Right.
don't want people thinking consciously like that or,
Right.
analytically. They
Right.
want them, no, just stare, watch them punch with the explosions. Oh, yeah, okay. Let me buy
Right.
another ticket. I want to see that again. That
Right.
stimulated me, in the wrong way, a cheap thrill.
Right.
That's why, let's say I know Drake, he dropped a new album last
Hmm.
night. And I was looking through the comment sections of some posts, and they're basically were saying like three songs of his, like, oh, these are the best songs on the album he dropped. So I didn't listen to any other song of his. I went to YouTube and I listened to those three songs. In my humble opinion, they're trash. It's literally the same go to sleep, shake your hips, do this type
Hmm.
of shit. No, and
Hmm.
you don't need your brain for this one.
Right.
Just just fall into the trance
Right.
and accept, rinse and repeat.
Right.
There's nothing about what he put out or his ghostwriters put out that is that deep. It's the same shit. It's like
Right.
the last 15 years he's rapping about or singing about the same crap over and over again. And
Right.
if you eat pizza every day, eventually you get tired of pizza
Hell yeah.
and you get sick too because you wasted your time eating pizza all the time, you know? But when you listen to music or watch a program or watch a movie or whatever, and you feel a little elevated or you feel curious,
Hmm.
that's the thing. The
Hmm.
curiosity, that's like
Hmm.
planting a seed. Uh, that thing, that person, that movie, that song, whatever, planted a seed inside of you, and now it's starting to grow a little bit.
Right.
Now, in order for it to completely grow, you have to do all the heavy lifting now. Now you got to do the digging, you have to do the research, you have to do exploring,
Facts.
and
Facts.
then the further you go out, you turn around, and holy crap,
Right.
I can't see my house anymore.
Right.
I'm all the way out here. And
Right.
this is completely different than what I was told or what I was shown before, and then that's why, folks, get out there, bro. Travel, go to another country, see how the culture is out there, learn about a little history of other countries and stuff. Talk to people, get their perspective, let's say of your country,
Hmm.
and you, I'm telling you, you will be surprised. You will
Hmm.
be surprised. because I remember when I was little, because I'm half Haitian. I remember when I was little, I used to see commercials on the TV. You see these poor little kids in Haiti, and the flies are on them, and
Hmm.
and then my mom used to say to me, "I don't know why they keep showing this." He said, "Haiti is at that time. Haiti's a beautiful country,
Hmm.
tropical. They're showing
Hmm.
the poor side. They're showing
Hmm.
like the poor ghetto side, the whole, but they're projecting it as the whole country is like that."
Right.
And she's
Right.
like, "No, this is not the way it is.
Right.
This maybe in some parts, yes, but that's not the whole country." She's
Right.
from Jeremy in Haiti. She said beautiful, tropical, and all this. But even with that little interaction with my mom, you can see the veil start coming off a little bit. Now you're seeing that, oh, if they want to paint you a certain way, and they have the power and the reach as far as people to make, if they want to make you a villain, they can make you look like a villain out
Facts.
there, you know,
Fact.
or whatever character, the hero, villain, whatever. That's why everything that's you see on television, you can't. I would say maybe 10 years ago, I stopped watching the news.
Me too.
I stopped watching it. Maybe I'll
Hmm.
check in for the weather, maybe a sports update, but
Hmm.
as far as what they have to say, I couldn't be bothered.
Right.
It's,
Right.
it's a lot of it is sensational nonsense, and a
Facts.
lot of it is parroted from other stations that you would think that, oh, these are opposite stations. It's like back in the day, there was Blockbuster and there was Hollywood Video, right?
Right.
I used to rent
Right.
from both of them.
Right.
But at that time, I didn't realize that Blockbuster bought Hollywood Video, but they just kept the name Hollywood Video to make you think
Right.
there's a competition
Right.
when really it's owned by this other group. So
Facts.
when you realize you're getting played,
Right.
you start, you have a little more discernment. You have a little more, you look at things a bit differently.
Facts.
And listen, even with the realization, you're going to get played, but I'm not going to be played as much, or I'm going to put some safeguards that'll protect me a little bit more than most. And it's just the way the system is. The system is rigged for you not to win.
Right.
It's rigged for you to think you can win,
Right.
but it's in reality it's rigged for you not to win. You
Right.
know, when you
Right.
when you when you work a job, collect your paycheck, a lot of your money is going somewhere else,
Facts. Facts.
and you have no say on it,
Right.
or at least you're led to believe you have no say in it,
Facts.
and most people accept their fate. They accept the situation. Now, if we all stood up and say, "Fuck no,
Right.
I'm not paying taxes for this. I'm
Right.
not paying the," then we could get something done. But you know, they know how to divide us.
Yep. Facts.
They're
Facts.
so good at it. They have centuries of doing this. They know how to do it.
Facts.
They put so much into psychological studies, right? And now it's even going to get even worse with the AI.
Yep.
Right now, they literally just need to hear a snippet of your voice and a picture of you, and
Yep.
you that's a virtual cloning.
Yep. Yep.
So they can get your accounts, your bank accounts or whatever. So I can see how people feel helpless in these type of situations. But uh, literally, if we all stood up, just look to the past, the French Revolution.
Right. Right.
These revolutions of the past.
Right.
The only difference is there's technology now, but you could
Right.
still revolt. You know,
Right. 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 That's a fact, bro. And
Even some cogs in the system that's
hell
aware
yeah.
of what they're doing to us. You have some cogs in there that want to evolve, but they're too scared.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah, that's what it is. A lot it's fear and a lot of it's ignorance too. We don't know shit, like we're stuck in this matrix in it. And even you said something dope. You're like, yo, our biggest allies aren't really our allies. And that's like what we were saying about earlier, how in the JFK files they just released, there were some people, the Jews could be involved in that. But then if you look, who made Israel, bro? Who made that little country in
mhm.
recent history? It's recent
Yeah,
history, The
recent
Jews
history.
are the Jews supposedly over there are like Polish refugees from Hitler. But when we really focus on that, we really focus on World War II. We really focus on who funded even Hitler. We focus on
Mhm.
all of that shit. It was England. If we really, really talk about our greatest ally, supposedly it's England.
Mhm.
But I don't know about that. I think they're fucking us up,
Listen,
on every.
listen. There's certain parts of America within America that's owned by England.
Correct, correct,
We still pay England.
correct, correct.
There was some kind of treaty or some type of arrangement when this country was founded for basically for England to back off
Right,
to pay the king.
right,
As long as we keep his purse, his coffers full, all right, you can have your little country,
right, right.
but you gotta pay that tax. You
Facts.
know, it's everything's about illusion. Our governments give us the illusion of freedom, right? They give us even in there was a show on HBO, pure fiction, political type of show, and with Jeff Daniels, and he gave this little speech when a student asked him, "Oh, can you tell us why America is the greatest country in the world?" And he tells
Yep.
them why we're not.
Right, right, right,
I mean, that's truth, though. In that fiction,
right,
we're not the greatest. Right
right.
now, China's surpassed us in many fucking ways.
Kicking our ass. Right, right.
What? Even you look at like the Open AI, they want
Right.
billions. Oh, $100 billion, and we're gonna do this. China, China, with their what's called deep seek or something like that.
Deep seek. Deep seek.
Deep
Yep.
seek with 6 million,
Right.
it surpassed their 100 billion, whatever the hell Open AI is doing,
Mm-hmm.
and using older technology
Mm-hmm.
to surpass them.
Right. Right.
This is incredible, man. This
Right.
should be an eye opener
Right.
for Americans
Right. Right.
where you told all this stuff and literally, as you know, I remember when I was younger, I'm sure it's before me also, growing up, we told Russia is the enemy,
Right.
China's the enemy.
Right.
Why are they our enemy? Why?
Right. Right. Right.
you, you know Russia is mainly a Christian country.
Right.
Why are they our enemy?
Right. Right. Right.
I mean, and it's surprising, especially after the Bolsheviks
Right.
eliminated nearly 66 million.
Ooh. Now we talking.
That's a real Holocaust, my friend.
Right. Right.
66 million. Do you learn
Hunger.
about that in the history books? I mean,
Right.
in school?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I used
Right.
to wonder. I used to wonder when I was younger, growing up. I was like, does any other state besides New York observe Jewish holidays? I was
Mm.
like, do they? I was like, wow, this is closed for Hanukkah, and this is. I'm like, does any other state do this?
Right.
And then I look up and I see other states they don't really do that. I say, what the fuck? I say, wow.
Right.
I say that shows you who's in
Right.
control of that, right?
Right.
And uh, some folks try to attribute this quote um, to like white supremacists, but I was like, it doesn't matter where it came from. It could still be true. If you want to know who rules over you, look to the ones you cannot talk about.
Facts.
You
Facts.
cannot question. The one you cannot question. That's the one
Facts.
that's ruling over you.
Facts. Facts.
How is the United States creating laws? And I think at this point it's probably like 30 to 40 states now where you can't say anything about a foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk mad shit about our president, our
Yep.
country,
Yep.
but a foreign country, you get penalized either
Right.
monetarily or in some cases you go to jail. How am I
Right.
going to jail for what should be my free speech?
Yep. Yep.
They
Facts.
literally are trying to erase the Constitution, eliminate our rights. We gave
Mm-hmm.
them a bit of that when 9/11 happened, when
Fact.
Homeland Security was formed. We giving
Mm-hmm.
up rights,
Mm-hmm.
wiretapping us,
Mm-hmm.
monitoring us. What the hell
Mm-hmm.
is that, bro? That's not freedom.
Right.
Next thing
Right.
you know, it's gonna be like England. They're gonna have cameras all over the place watching you.
Right.
They're gonna take and this because I used to vote a lot, democratically, Democrat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right. And but when they started talking about, oh yeah, ban guns and ban, I was like, are you stupid?
Right.
You want to take away? You want to? That's another
Right.
amendment you're trying to
Right.
take away from the people.
Facts. Like England, no
We
guns in
we
England.
have yeah.
Right. Right.
And when I see people spouting that, oh yeah, you should ban all guns. There's no reason for you. I said, there are reasons for you to have a gun.
Right.
Why would it be in the Constitution if it
Right.
wasn't? There's a
Right.
reason for it. Do not give up your
Facts.
guns.
Right.
You don't have to own one, but
Right.
do not give up your right to bear arms.
Right.
That's insanity, bro.
Right.
Imagine if we all give up our guns.
Hell no.
Do
I
you
even
think things will improve?
hell no.
Oh, you're the only ones that have guns, and we don't have guns?
Right, right. I look at even you got the Rebel Moon, you got Jimmy in the back, and people they want to say, "Oh, Zack Snyder, he's a Democrat," but look at his movies don't show that because even look at
Mhm.
Rebel Moon when the or the spaceship, the bad guys was hovering over the planet. They all start rounding up their guns.
Yep.
Imagine if they gave away their guns. You know what I mean? They wouldn't have no fight, you know?
Where's the
So,
fight? There'd be no fight.
right, correct.
You would have what's going on in Palestine.
Right. Facts. And then and also look at it like we were talking, you just said with England with the CCTV, or look at
Mhm.
China with their CCTV, or
Oh,
look even go deeper and who funded China? The English bankers. Council of Foreign Relations, the same shit as U.s AID.
mhm.
If we really, or look at the Batman trilogy, Ra's al Ghul, his fake name was Henry Ducard, a British banker, you know?
Right,
Or
right,
look at you talk about Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick, the secret societies that they were in those little secret meetings, or whatever that's called, a seance or whatever they were doing. They were
right.
all dressed up like not ancient England, back in the day, like King England shit. They're
Victorian, yeah.
yeah, right. They were all dressed up like that shit. So we can talk like or we can say, like you said, we can talk shit about America. We can talk shit about everybody else. But if you you can't talk shit about the Jews, right? But
No.
who funded the Jews? Who made Israel? It was England. Who funded China to be this superpower to take over the world? It was England. Who did America really run away from? But we really didn't really have a revolution because they still control us with our
Yes.
social security, with our passports, with our money, you know, with our all of that. It's England. When we really, who was the secret society? It's England. You know, they come or the King of England. Now, when the Queen of England died, and her son took over, he's now the
Hmm.
king. That's when Israel went crazy on them boys. When he showed up, Israel
Yeah.
said, "Fuck it, dog. We about to have a genocide. We're about, or
Yeah.
you know, they were acting exactly like the Nazis. All right,
Yes.
who really funded the Nazis? It was the English bankers and the American bankers and
Hmm.
the Swiss bankers. You know, they're
Hmm.
the real people that's really pulling the strings. It's the British Empire. It's still them, you know. But we really don't want to talk about it. We can say, oh, like Eyes Wide Shut, secret societies, and all this, or
Right.
China, Council of Foreign Relations, CFR, or America. When America took out Trump, when he basically won the election, and they just gave us Joe Biden. What
Yeah.
country really can do that, bro? What country is stronger than America? It's the
Yeah.
country, the red coats that we really didn't get away from, bro. Let's
Yes.
be let's be real. We can be really honest and say that. Or, you know, our whole matrix, the girl waits for their knight in shining armor. That's some English British shit was the
Yeah.
knights, you know, to kill the dragon or this. Our
Yeah.
whole matrix, our whole mindset is a British matrix over the whole
Yes.
world, bro. But nobody talks about that. And if you do talk about that, they're gonna Stanley Kubrick your ass. They're gonna kill you. You know what I mean? Zack
That's
Snyder,
what,
like
yeah.
the redcoats are coming.
You
Oh,
get
Zack,
blackballed or you
you're
get,
fired, right? Right, bro.
yeah.
You're fucking fired, bro. You're out of here. So,
People fail to realize the ones in charge. It's a small club.
right,
They
right.
collude with each other.
Facts,
You
facts,
understand?
facts.
So if they want you done, you're done.
Right. You're
But
out
you
of here.
see, society now, see, technology alters it. It puts a chink in the armor a bit. Because now you could just film yourself and put yourself out there.
Right. We can do what
You're
we're
the
doing.
source of your information.
Right. Facts.
I mean, you still need a studio for it to get out there, completely out there and monetized or whatever. But honestly, you could do it yourself
Right. Right.
if you are willing to make that sacrifice. Because if you're saying true shit, they'll make you look like a conspiracy theorist, uh, crazy or something. Or if you're hitting too close to home, and let's say you're able to pull up evidence and facts and source, and you're gone. You're gone. Oh
Right.
well, the Isaac Cappy your ass.
Right.
You know?
Facts. Facts, bro. All right. So we went deep. This is a perfect podcast, bro. Now just tell some we're gonna wrap it up, but tell the people where they can find you at real quick and you know what else you might have going on.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see me on the socials a bit. I would say mainly Twitter. You can see me on Twitter, Neo7ens, Neose, the number 7ENS. And same thing as YouTube, but I don't really do too much with YouTube. You know, every now and then I might pop up on someone's channel, but it's mostly Twitter.
Right.
I'm mostly
Right.
doing some fan stuff on Twitter.
Right. Right.
But if you want to get into a little deep conversation, I might entertain that. Or most of the time, if I find a conversation is going to go in a circle,
Yeah,
I'm not going to
yeah,
entertain that.
right, right. I feel you. So
And
what?
especially someone that's a contrarian just to be a contrarian. I have no
Yeah,
time for that. Or the
right,
energy.
right, right. So real quick, this is 214 day, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they show up online today, or was it popping, or how did it go?
Um, I think they were doing some kind of stuff with 214. I saw the restore the Snyderverse thing. Even I think I saw even a shill using the hashtag. A
Damn.
shill. I was like, damn. I guess that check didn't clear from the studio. But yeah, there was a 214 day, and yeah, I saw some. Like I said, the restore and a few release the air cuts, but mostly
Mhm.
restore.
Right,
So I mean, listen, you know, do what you got to do, brother. We got
right,
the Snyder cut.
right, right.
We got the Snyder cut. It can happen.
It could
Never
happen.
say never.
Right,
Never say
right.
never.
What you think about the new James Gunn movie coming out, Superman?
Uh, I think it's like the new Drake album. It's just it's an empty calorie. It's maybe it'll taste nice and all that stuff, but you're still gonna get cavities from it.
Right, right,
Nothing good coming. Okay,
right,
you forget about it after a few weeks. Okay, what's the
right,
next thing?
right,
So,
right. Yeah,
uh, personally, from what I've seen, from the trailer and behind the scenes and stuff, it's not for me.
right.
Not for me. I'm not gonna. They're not gonna get my money.
Facts. Me neither.
They're not gonna
Facts.
get my money. I'm not
Facts.
gonna promo it. I'm not gonna.
Right. No
Yeah.
help.
I'm not even gonna share an image from any still from that movie.
Right. Yo, that was funny what y'all did with the googly eyes and the cross
Oh,
eyes.
yeah,
Bruh,
that was funny. That was funny. Yeah,
the people
yeah.
that don't know real fast, the people that don't know, that shit went viral. It went all over the internet. Everyone's talking about the googly eyes. But that
I even
shit,
saw it on Facebook.
yeah, that shit went everywhere. But it started with this guy, him and
Yeah,
fucking Joker, bruh. Him and
this,
another
this,
one of our homies in the chat
yeah,
room.
yeah. Mr. J, he did the laser eyes going this way. I
Right.
did the Steve Buscemi face with the googly eyes.
Hell yeah, bruh.
Yeah,
So it started with them. So if you see that shit, it did blow up. It went viral. I think y'all did a big hit on the Superman movie. I mean, like a big hit against it. But
yeah, yeah. I think.
if if anybody wants to know, it started with this guy. This is how important this guy is. Him and fucking Joker, bro. Big dogs. Big
Yeah.
dog
Shout out to
status.
Mr. J.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Mr.
All
J
right.
310.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate it, bro. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Appreciate you having
everybody.
me here, man.
Yeah, man, we
It's
gotta
been a,
do
it's
this shit
been a
again.
blast.
We gotta
Yeah.
do it again,
What's
man.
that?
All right,
What's that?
word. Peace.
All right, man. Be easy.
All right. Yes, sir.
All right.